Next anime on the list is Bleach, and specifically Thousand Year Blood War arc. A lot of people had that specifically is what they named, and even my anime list has it at a 9 if I was rounding down, but a 9.02, so right under Hunter x Hunter. We know the animation slaps. We absolutely know that. We get to see Ichigo now is part Quincy, so he's now literally part everything in the entire anime. Whatever it is, Ichigo is that. So I enjoyed Thousand Year Blood War. What P?
I just want to ask you a question, Joe. That's all.
Okay, let me finish before you ask. I
Take your
did.
time.
I did truly enjoy Thousand Year Blood War. Obviously, would have to. It's been a while since watching Bleach, and I did. This was a show that I did not go back to watch before this came out because it was just too much. But I did. I did enjoy it. I'm curious to see how they finish this season out, or ending season 2, right? Whatever it is, whatever's coming out next. Intrigued to see it, but I would not have it this high.
Okay.
Outside of the animation is movie quality. Like that definitely deserves its props. It's up there with me for another show that carried by its animation. With that being said, what do you fellas think about Thousand Year Blood War? Oh, sorry.
Was that a Demon Slayer
He
reference?
had a question. No, it was not.
Okay,
It was not. It was.
No,
But it wasn't.
yeah, exactly. I was just going to ask you, like, do you think the Thousand Year Blood War arc should be that close
No.
to Hunter x Hunter?
No,
That was gonna be
absolutely
my
not.
only question.
Absolutely not. I think it's really good, but absolutely not.
Okay.
Jay, what you got for us, bro?
I guess if you say as an arc, it's harder to say an arc versus a whole show. Obviously, I don't think the arc is better than the whole show or really kind of in the same conversation. I do think it is probably Bleach's best arc, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, and I do like some of the other arcs. Like, I do like all the arcs for Aizen. I do, but like in terms of just like one pacing, two a lot more cashed out unveilments. Right, we starting to see Kenpachi do stuff. We're starting to see Yowabak do stuff. We're starting to see, you know what I'm saying? You're starting to see Squad Zero. So now we're getting a lot of cash out, like what I call cash out payments. When you start to see the characters who you've been heard about start to actually box. You see Yamamoto. Now I'm like, okay, that's why I feel like it's one of the Bleach's best arcs. Is it my favorite one? Probably not. I think Soul Society is still my favorite arc. But is it a 9 out of 10? I'd say like 8.5. Like 8.5 out of 10. Just because I feel like even with the consistency of battles as it was going on, I felt like they were losing touch of like really any controversy. Like it was just kind of like it was either like Yuabak was running the game all the time, or like when we finally got to the end with Squad Zero, we started to see a little more evenly matched, but we still don't really know
Exactly.
what's
going on.
We know what's going on. Don't get me wrong; they're very in detail with actual fighting. I just feel like when you look at paces of fights, right, most of the time, especially in One Piece, you know Luffy's losing, right? It's like he's clear that this opponent's stronger than him. Whoop de whoop de whoop. Even when it's like close opponents, you could still see a certain type of edge or dominance or what have you. And what makes I feel like it's so exciting is like seeing the characters push through that.
Yeah.
Where I feel like with Yuabaka was like either slaughter or it was like no chance. And I was like,
which one is
dang.
it? So are you
Really?
like that or are you not like that? Which one is it?
So that's just how I felt about it.
Yeah. As far as cash out moments, I hate to do this to bring it back to One Piece, but when we gonna get Dragon's cash out moment?
Why would you do that? Why would you really do that, man?
I don't know, bro. It took us 1,000 episodes for Shanks, so I wouldn't hold my breath.
I mean, I don't even know when we're going to get Mihawk's cash out. But anyway.
Maybe.
We already got it.
Hey. All right, Rob, what you think?
Rob said we already got it.
What you think about Thousand Year Blood War, bro?
I'm thinking that all y'all tripping. Respectfully, of
I ain't
course.
said nothing yet.
You were nodding along with Jack. That's enough for me. You were co-signing. Listen, this is 100% Bleach's best arc. I think down to the voice acting, the animation, the pacing, as Jared pointed out, has been ridiculous. And even if we want to talk about the bread and butter of battle shonen, the fights, hands down the best fights in Bleach. Hands down, like one of the things I enjoy about fights is how they are switching they're basically switching each other up whenever they're dominating each other. 1 minute you think somebody has the upper hand, then you find out they don't have the upper hand. And then you think they have the upper hand, and then it switches over
But
constantly.
you don't think
and we
that played
see
out too much?
No,
No,
I
let
think
him go.
it's
Let him go.
perfect.
Let him go.
I'm sorry.
Let
My
him go,
bad.
John.
Go ahead. Yeah, my bad.
I think that's perfect for Bleach because of a lot of these cash out payments that we were speaking of for the longest time. Squad Zero was kind of that other cash out that's supposed to be, oh, they're even above what we know right now. It's kind of like where people have, the gore scene in One Piece and stuff like that. We're bringing it back to One Piece, right? There's characters that sit above the characters that we already held in high regard. So now that we're seeing that the Quincy King himself has been prepping for something that's even beyond what's going on in the Soul Society, because we saw what they did in the Soul Society. I mean, they ran amok, they destroyed everything in there.
What's Soul Society?
because they were planning for something even bigger, and now we get to see what they were planning for. So that's why I feel like the way that this arc is being handled is just it's night and day. You look at old Bleach and you compare it to what's going on. There's no fillers and there's none of that. Like, I think it's honestly perfectly rated. I love every second of it. Every episode feels like a movie, and that's kind of what I love about Hunter and some other shows of that nature, where you watch an episode and you're getting a bunch of information. It doesn't feel like, they only move 2 feet and that's the end of the episode. So that's why I really, really love this arc. Yeah. I'm cool with they have it at a 9. I'm cool.
Okay.
So, Rob, is that more so towards production that you absolutely like this? Is this more a production thing for you?
No, I mean the production adds to it, right?
Okay.
Because that's what we were saying. That's what invalidated my initial argument. So if we saying okay, production adds to it, absolutely. But I do love the story. I do love the story aspect of it as well. I mean,
was gonna say I think it's still like I agree with Rob in that sense too.
Yeah, the story is fire, yo.
That's what I feel like. It's one of Bleach's best arcs because they did go the hardest on this, but also because I felt like the pacing of this actual battle, this war. Like these backstories they're throwing in there, I'm like, I feel like this is, it is like night and day. Like it is like a type of Bleach that we're not really used to,
right?
So I get that, but to be fair, the type of Bleach that we are used to, I feel like isn't that high. Like normally we wouldn't rate arcs or seasons like that high, like 9 and 8, 9. You feel me? We would normally put them in like 8s. You feel me? So that's why for me, when we talk about this arc, it's better, but I still feel like it's like 8, 7. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely think it's great.
Yep.
I just think the way I view it right now, just based on the amount of time that's been, passed between both series, I think this is kind of like the first part of Bleach is like Naruto OG Part 1, and then right now we're looking at Bleach Shippuden. Like
that's a long Part 1, though.
That's a long
yeah, it is a very, very long Part 1, but it really feels like it's a whole fresh new series. Like it really, really does. From the production value, as Preston pointed out, but also the story. Like everything just feels fresh. We're meeting characters that we didn't even think that existed unless you read the manga. I mean, it's really that amazing. You know what I mean? So we're in the Bleach Shippuden. That's what it feels like to me. That's why I could rate it separately from Bleach Part 1.
I think that's more so my issue is that I've read the manga, so I know what's going on and how it plays out. And because I've read the manga, I feel like most of the arcs are pretty much the very same thing. Whether it's the Soul Society arc, whether it's the Espada arc, whether it's Ichigo trying to get his powers back. I can't think of like that arc.
Is that the Bound arc?
Nope, the Full Bring arc.
Full Bring. Sorry, Full
Or
Bring.
whether it's the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. Like there are always a group of people that have to be defeated, and we see that in separate arcs. Now, I will say, is it one of the better arcs? I do believe so. Like Jared said, I think the Soul Society arc rates just a little bit higher for me. There's one filler arc in particular that rates higher than me than the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and that's the Zanpakuto arc, to where like we got to see the Zanpakutos manifest like as actual people, and they got to fight their actual Zanpakutos. I think that was a little bit more higher than me. Do I believe it deserves a 9? No. Do I think it like is a 8, 8.5? Yes.
I feel you, bro. Hey, man.
Rob's
Yo,
not having it, bro.
there ain't
Rob's
no
not
I
having it,
feel
bro.
you, man. Y'all just listen to this man say, I put a filler arc
Well,
over
hold
the.
on, bro. Hold on, bro. Well, here's the thing.
It's a filler arc?
What does that matter?
We doing that?
That's what he feel, bro.
But
I don't agree.
I can't
I don't
argue.
agree.
I can't.
But
I think sometimes we get so wrapped up, and don't get me wrong, but the glitz and glamour of the 1,000-Year Blood War, yes, the storyline is solid, but the glitz and glamour of what we see, number one, I think holds like a really big aspect in how we see it. But number two, I think because we have waited so long for this to come out, that we are all on edge to say, hey, yo, this is like the hypest-ish that is out, when in actuality, we have seen this art play out 3 different times.
so for
We
me,
have.
this is their. What would you, Rob? Because for me, this is their war arc. You feel me? Like
Yes.
literally. So like, compared to other war arcs, like, where would you have it?
I mean, Marineford is my goat.
What about
But-
the Ninja War?
I was
You
like,
have
great.
some of the Ninja War.
I gotta wait for Bleach's completion. I'm not gonna lie, because the way it's looking right now, I'm loving every episode of Bleach. There's things that happen during the Naruto Ninja War that are questionable, but I don't know if I can put it over it until I see it in its entirety. You know, I do love the Naruto Ninja War. Obviously, people had issues with Kaguya popping out. That was a major thing. Like I said, I just gotta see. I gotta see this arc.
What about the Chimera Ant? That's technically their war arc.
That is technically the war arc.
They go to war with the ants.
I mean, I love the Chimera.
I've never actually thought about it as like their war arcs. That's
Yeah, I never thought of it
I've
as a
never
war
thought
arc either.
about it.
Really,
I just think of it
kinda
where I
is.
just think of it
dope.
where the characters go to most of a all cast battle.
Yeah.
Like if all the cast is going to fight a whole legion of folk, I look
Yeah,
at it as like
Chimera
their
arcs,
war,
yeah.
their kind of
But
battle
that's
arc.
just-
Yeah, well,
I think that's why-
Chimera Ant arc is. Oh, my bad, Preston. Go ahead.
no. Go ahead, Rob. You good?
I was just gonna say, Chimera Ant arc honestly is one of the greatest, I guess, war arcs you can say out there, because it also produced one of the best villains in all of anime. Plain blank period. It's reality.
Hey, I'm with you, baby. I'm here.
I just
I'm
think
here for it.
like
here
if I
for
was
it.
to go like Marineford, Ninja
Reinforce my
War,
goat.
Chimera, and I'm just talking randomly. Chimera, like these aren't all in order, but
Yeah.
I would still have maybe like even War on Paradise. Like these are other wars I would still put over 1,000-Year Blood War so far.
And honestly, I would maybe have to like somewhat agree. And the only reason why I say it is because again, for Bleach, I feel like they have had several war arcs. Everybody went to Waco Mundo. Like this is like not the first time that we have seen this happen to where everybody rallies up and goes and fights the baddie. This is like the second or third time we've seen this.
Yeah, this is
But-
a little larger scale.
Let's say,
though, I
yeah,
would say.
this is definitely a larger scale than Waco Mundo, because you got everybody and their mama pulling up to fight.
Who didn't pull up to Waco Mundo that we didn't see pull up to
Yeah, but I just
Thousand
look at like
Year
Preston,
Blood?
soldiers.
we're
you know?
seeing,
Yeah,
we're,
soldiers,
we're seeing bankais from
I'm-
captains
but
that
but
we've
see
never.
but see that's different. We're saying like war art to who pulled up. Like I get that there are different levels, and we get to see Kenpachi and his bankai. Like we get to see different things. But what I'm saying is that we have seen this art before, to where people pull up, to where everybody
So-
pulls up.
But this is where I feel like we're losing the essence of what the 1,000-Year Blood War arc is supposed to represent, right? This is something that's bigger than and more grandiose than you could even say the Espada fight, right? Because when we're looking at this, no, I'm saying when we're looking at this, the 1,000-Year Blood War arc is literally in the name. It's
1,000
something
year,
that
yeah.
that's 1,000. Like this is beyond anything that we've ever seen. I feel like in Bleach, because at what point are we gonna say, Pain going on the Hidden Leaf Village? A lot of people jumped in that fight. Like,
Yeah.
are we gonna say that's, you know what I mean? Like I feel like we're losing the essence.
I get that, but-
of what the
but again-
war arc is.
But again, I think like we have that aspect in Bleach every time. When Ichigo first entered the Soul Society arc, this was the first time it ever happened. When we went to Waco Mundo, this was the first time that everybody like gathered around and went there. When we do the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, like this is the first time. Like it's a bunch of firsts for Bleach every time. Like I feel like it's just the same thing time and time again. And I'm not saying that they don't do it good. Like the 1,000-Year Blood War arc is a really good arc. I'm just saying that I've seen it before.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I just think the introduction of Squad Zero is probably one of my favorite parts in all of Bleach.
I
And
agree
just
with that.
seeing how they move and how they interact and their differences in their personalities, and seeing how Ichigo and the others have to train with that. Like, I think that's just it's different.
Yeah.
It was a different vibe.
Yeah, I get that.